Hello everybody, and this is Chaos with KLC Sports Productions, bringing you some more Bronze to Masters League Series games. We're going to be looking at another Diamond player. Now, it has been a rough week. Last week, I wasn't able to make very many videos as a function of finishing up one of my Masters courses. So things finished out pretty strong, I think. So we'll see when the final grades come out, July 11th, or June 11th, yeah. So, anyways, yes, it has indeed been a rough week. We're not doing too hot in Diamond League, that's for sure. Been having quite a bit of trouble with Terran players. Mainly just dealing with mass drops and things of that nature. So yeah, I really don't have much to say about that. We're gonna go ahead and get into this now. This game actually goes fairly well. This game I'm kind of going to talk about scouting, because scouting is kind of what gets me out of a really bad situation here at the beginning. This is a Masters level player, so I'm still playing Masters and Diamond level players. So still doing pretty decent in the ladder, but in general just not been a good week for StarCraft. So, gonna get in and harass a little bit. Basically, if we look at our... Ooh, nope, not that. If we look at... There we go. Vision. So, we've come in here. Unfortunately, we didn't scout this gas. So, we're a little bit already unwary of what's going on. But one thing we do notice is back at home, we saw a scout on the minimap come in, kind of circle around, and then go back out. Now, we noticed that we're no longer being followed, and we still have no idea where that SCV went, actually. Yeah. So we're sitting here kind of looking for this SCV, kind of wondering what's going on. Now, honestly, I originally thought that this SCV that went and scouted my base was the one that was doing the proxy racks, but apparently not, because as we can see, Mr. SCV over here is putting down a proxy racks. Going to be trying to do a really early, it's a Marauder push type timing. Basically, you get out like 1 or 2 Marauders and then 4 or 5 Marines and just like go walk into your opponent's base and see if he's gotten anything. And in the case that he doesn't, you immediately win. Otherwise, it's pretty effective. So we're going to come over here, we're going to scout it, we're going to see the tech lab. Now that is kind of crucial because, you know, obviously we can think one of two things. We can think Marauders, or we can think... gosh, I can't even talk today. We can think Reapers, because obviously Reapers can be really annoying, jumping in and out of our base. So we're going to be going back to work, and we've got a Zealot over here kind of taking swings at this barracks, trying to get out, you know, kill as much of it as we can. He actually got supply blocked, which is not really good on his part, because he wants this to be as effective as possible. Going to be getting out our Mothership Core, because our Mothership Core is actually going to be a real key in our defense, because, you know, Marauders obviously can't attack up, so if the Marines are too busy fighting your ground units, you know, you don't have to worry about that being an issue. Now, unfortunately, I see the tech lab researching, and I remember if in the game I'm thinking, wow, he's totally going for a really early stim, but in fact he's actually going for really early concussive shells, which is actually a very quick upgrade. So I back out with my Stalker. I've got another Zealot out, and I'm like, oh, what should I do? My Mothership Core is finally out, so we're doing pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and put it on my camera. So I'm sitting here like, okay, take out the Marauder as quick as possible so the Stalker can sit back and do as much damage as possible. Now, Mothership Cores are absolutely stupid and don't seem to like to attack anything. So you have to like move them over their units in order to do anything. So we're going to go over and take out what is left of this barracks. Now, unfortunately, one of our Stalkers does get trapped behind the pylon. I need to really work on my infrastructure placement, because I have this happen so frequently where it'll either be Stalkers or even friggin' probes once you've, like, you know, transferred down and are only sending probes to your natural. So kind of a big issue. Going to go ahead and speed up a little bit to get to some of the more juicy portions of this game. So we're basically just going to be pushing out and taking a look, and we pop in, we see that he's got adequate enough defenses. He's got a bunker up, second bunker. Now, one thing we don't know is we don't know the timing of this CC. So basically, as a function of the early pressure, we would assume that the CC is probably not down yet. It's definitely on the way, if not very close to being finished. And I believe if we take a look, he has actually got it done building the orbital now. So pretty good on the timing. So at this point, we're kind of sitting back at home. I went ahead and killed the stalker because obviously that's supply that is useless, and we want to make sure that all of our supply is in our main army and or / units just kind of sitting off to the side dealing with drops. We're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit because it's very, very slow game, quite honestly. Because at this point, I'm sitting here like, what am I going to be dealing with? So he comes in with a drop. I am actually just, I clutch Photon Overcharge my Nexus, get things in there, and honestly, I'm not sure what he was thinking, because quite honestly, I think had he stayed down and focused down the Nexus, he probably would have taken it out. Yeah, he might have lost the army, but that puts me on one base. I mean, I think that does a way more hindrance to my economy than, you know, he would have, you know, anticipated. So definitely one issue with my play. Now, wow, this is definitely master player and diamond player. No production, nothing building whatsoever, because I need to work on my macro and get things better. Anyways, so we're gonna actually manage to take out one of his medevacs, looking pretty good. And quite honestly, we're feeling pretty comfortable because we don't see a third base, and you know, we even with our vision we see the drop coming out, so we know there's another drop coming. And I'm pretty sure we even spot it with this. I choose to move out at this point because I'm like, well, he spent a lot of money on that drop, and the likelihood of him having guys back at home, a big army back at home, is probably slim to none. Now, I see this drop over here, and I'm throwing down my third, so he's going to get in here and try to force a cancel on this. I do actually manage to come back and save it just in time. And basically, at this point, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get myself in a position where I can deal with these type of drops and, you know, kind of be in that sustained position. As you can see, my supply is plummeting, and this is just kind of one of my issues that I've been having with, especially playing Terrans, because PvT is so absolutely annoying with drops. Just he's like, so I'm just gonna speed in, speed out, you know, no big deal. Anyways, so honestly, I think this game is just kind of a, you know, it's all about dealing with drops. You know, had I been able to deal with them a little bit better, I think I would have taken this game, and I probably would have, you know, been just fine. Like I said, the biggest thing is I've lost all of those probes with those 2 drops. And actually, he could have dropped me again with this medevac. I'm not sure why he sent it back, quite honestly, because I personally think had he gone in again, he probably would have been able to do a little bit more damage. I do have a handful of stalkers sitting back at home, so I'm not, you know, too unprepared, but he probably would have been in a better position. And as you can see, his macro is slipping. He's got lots of money. Unlike me, I'm doing pretty good on keeping my money low and getting my upgrades and stuff. So come in here, take out his medevac, feeling pretty good. And at this point, I think it boils down to this next engagement, because this next engagement is really, really bad on my part. So we come in, start taking down these rocks because he's sitting there. Now we're going to slow this down. Now, pause. What I was trying to do is I was trying to get, if we look at my camera, and I don't know if it'll actually show me what I was doing. We're going to put it down slower and see if it changes, and the answer is no. So behind this, what I was trying to do is I was trying to tab over to my sentries so I could force field his army, because if you go back just a couple seconds, I'm in a really good position to plant down some really sick force fields, but I kept my mothership core on my main army control group, and that is basically what loses me this game. Because he stems out, he's feeling pretty good. What I want to do is I want to plant down 2 force fields, one here and one here, to prevent him from moving his army back, and that basically avoids all this extra damage that he gets on these zealots and allows me to kill a heck of a lot more than what I ended up killing. At this point, I should have probably backed down a little bit more. I get up an Archon because I know I need some splash damage in order to do something. Not the best force fields in the world, that's for sure. I didn't cut his army quite in half. I only got like 4 or 5 units, so in general, it's just not a very good engagement on my portion. Also, back at home, I'm on 3 bases. I probably should have planted down a handful more gateways, because that's my biggest problem is I'm not able to build enough units at this point to keep up with his production, because I think he's on like 5 or 6. Yeah, let's see. 7. No. Quick. He's on 7 effectively, and then 2 more just came up. So, you know, he's on 9 racks at this point, so he's doing pretty well. He's also got his 3rd CC on the way. So, basically what this game boiled down to was a little bit of ill macro, because obviously I'm, you know, still have lots of money sitting in the bank but not using it, and obviously the lack of being able to deal with drops. So and you know, also somewhat of an engagement issue. At this point, I don't have enough stuff to deal with this big Marine Marauder ball. One thing that I probably would have been better off doing is getting my Storm, because having Storm with this obviously gives me the option of doing a lot of splash damage, or even tech switching over to Colossus. That probably would have been a viable option at this point. Let's see. Just do a quick worker count to make sure that we're not doing too bad on saturation. Looking pretty decent in the main. Down 1 probe. Pretty decent at the natural, and yeah. So I'd say overall we're keeping pretty consistent with our probe production, making sure that everything is good as far as saturation goes. So I think overall the main mechanics that were in lack in this game were probably obviously the dealing with drops and the engagements. Those were kind of the big key issues. Obviously still some macro issues, but in general those will come with time. So we're going to go ahead and speed it up to our final engagement, because it was just really bad positioning. I need my stalkers in the back, and they're kind of clumped up in the middle. Just in general, not good. So he storms in. I'm sitting here like, I don't have enough stuff to deal with all this. And he more or less just comes in and just absolutely mops me up. So, pretty rough start to the week. Definitely wasn't feeling too good after this game. I was really bummed because he threw down some mana mules, and I was just like, no! Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to leave your comments in the section below. I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say about dealing with these drop plays, this drop play, and that kind of stuff. Also, feel free, if you enjoyed this, to subscribe and like. Yeah. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitch. I do stream these live, so check me out there. I will leave all the links in the description. Also, some links to some pro players. And then also, if you would like me to take a look at one of your games, feel free to send an email to replays.sc2.chaos@gmail.com. I know it's really long, but you guys are awesome, and I'm sure you guys will send me some stuff here soon. So, I will see you in the next game.